in. This game doesn't allow live streaming. My ass. Grid editor. Right, can I go back through the previous VOD? Hello everyone, back once again with Rapid Racing League's Div 3. I'm going to see if I can check this past broadcast. I can indeed. Awesome stuff. Don't do open lobbies all that often. Okay. Oh, it's going to show me an advert. Of course it is, because money means more than anything else on this earth. That's okay. We've got the top 3. It's your boy here was P4. I'm going to verify that with this, because sometimes some people would like to be cheeky with that. But that's okay. That's 5 minutes till the end, so we're gonna go about 33 minutes in. Ugh, fuck off. A bit too early. Lap 4. You serious? Are you serious? Come on. This is ridiculous, this game. There we go. Got it. Got quality. Awesome stuff. Quality stuff. It's your boy here, AMG Hamilton. To P5. P6, Hardwidge, who is not able to rejoin. So Open Growth gets P6 if he's here. He is. P and JDM. JDM, Mad Dog. Oh, Mad Dog's in the right place anyway. And I'm a bird, War Machine. See if I go down. I do go down, I know that. I mean, I believe that's correct anyway, because these guys didn't even set times. So... yeah, no Hamilton, no formation lap. Brimmer... elongated. I mean, it doesn't really matter, these guys didn't set times anyway, but... PS3... yeah, we're good. Oh, fuck off. Right. Confirm. That should be that. Medium. Lobby options. I love how confusing this game is. Is it an asset restrictions? No, it's not. There's so many menus in this game, I just get confused. No, that's not it either. It is indeed under simulation settings. It is not. I'm having a cheeky laugh. Oh, it's already off anyway. Who cares? It's already off. Anyway. Everyone ready up. This is Rapid Racing League's Div 3. Sponsored by Sully's. You're not dressed until you're wearing a Sully's. So we are readying up. And should be good to go. Should be good to go. When I ask for help, I get told it's not their problem. That's okay. It is what it is. We are underway with the first race of the session. I'm seeing some double standards, but that's okay. We are here at Imola for the first race of tonight. Fortunately, this game is shit, but it's not that shit. Fortunately, I can change the some of the rules after the first race, so we can have proper quali. So I've obviously restarted. We're only 4 minutes into this stream, but I've had to restart because of technical issues. Because this game has plenty of them. There's no shortage of those. Session will start in 30 seconds. Never mind, Greedy's left the session once again. Right, got the lights out, 5 lights cutting out. Any second now. Got the McLaren really eager to race again. Greeny's rejoined the session, and we're off. Race for turn 1 begins. I'm going to disable all that. Have telemetry enabled, full track map. We are good to go. A lot of carnage. Very narrow intro to this circuit, to be honest. It's a very narrow circuit in general. As we can see, the McLaren sailing away in P1, P2, and AMG Hamilton gaining quite a few places. We've got a yellow flag further back of field. Have a quick look and see what's going on there. We have a Williams running very wide there. On board with Kirko. Seeing another yellow flag from something. Oh, I'm seeing cars get very close there into that corner. There's that double that chicane there. So Piastri has a penalty for colliding with Kirko and gaining a place. That's a weird penalty to get, but you know, it is what it is. It's a shorter format, so you've got more of a chance to make up from the mistakes that you make earlier on in the race. We're on board with Edmo, who is absolutely dominating this lead so far. He's 1.3 seconds in front of Perks in P2. Hamilton's alongside him here. He's going to maybe go around the outside. No, he's not going to go around the outside. He's staying very close to Perks though. Keeping very close to them as we head through the Sector 3 timing zone, the double left-hander. Going to go on board with Hamilton and see if he can get past Perks. He's going to go around the outside. Going to make a dive for it. Does he stick the dive? No, he gets pushed a little bit wide from Perks. They're turning in on the apex there. And Perks and Hamilton managed to completely avoid contact there. So we've got a yellow flag. We've got cars spinning all around. It's absolutely chaos further back. We've got Greeny and JDM spinning off from what I guess is contact. We've got a Mercedes further down as well. So we're going to have a look at the position changes real quick. So JDM 10 positions down. He's going to dive into the pit lane with wing damage. Bird stays out without damage. He's managed to avoid that. But fortunately, everyone else seems to be going okay. Back on board with Edmo. He's 2.2 seconds in front. He's sailing away. Hamilton not far behind him either. We've got a Ferrari who's spun off at his stroke of race. He comes back onto the track in P16, the sole Ferrari running tonight. As AMG Hamilton stays behind Perks in P3. There's not many opportunities to make a move here on this track, unfortunately. It's a very narrow circuit, and it's all about momentum. So we've got another yellow flag in just before Sector 2. Stroke race spinning once again. Elongated and War Machine exchange positions just before. But wow, that would have been an impressive overtake to watch. Unfortunately, we didn't get to watch that, but it is what it is. We've got Greeny on board with Greeny now, who's fallen back a bit. He started P3, he's now P8. He's not far behind War Machine here, and he could definitely make a move on War Machine as Hamilton's lost time to Perks. But Edmo has just sailed away from everyone else and is now 3 seconds in front of everyone else and has set the fastest lap once again with a 1:17.2. So that's really quick. Quicker than some people's qualifying times here. So a mighty lap there from him as Hamilton's used up a lot of his ERS already and is running P3 as it stands. He's run into the grass a little bit there as Greeny and War Machine finally change places. Piastri's not far behind him either. Piastri might make a move on War Machine, but War Machine covers him off. But that doesn't stop Piastri from making a dive down. He's running off into the sausage curbs and loses momentum from running over the sausage curbs and ends up back where he started in P9. Greeny's now P7, chasing down Elongated. And the two Aston Martins are very close alongside each other here. Not many other battles going on further on the field as we've got Bremer with a 3-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Got Hendo down in P13. Poor form, unfortunately, from him to not set a proper lap. Unfortunately, his only lap was a 1:24.1, which was absolutely not representative of his pace. As we can see, he's keeping up with the mid-pack here. So we've got a potential spinner. I think we do. I'm not sure what's going on there. Goffey's now gained a 3-second time penalty. He's currently running P11. And given how narrow and how close everyone is, a penalty around here is kind of disastrous, as Piastri also gets a penalty, but he's right behind War Machine and is likely to dive down the inside here. Piastri on the medium tyre. No, War Machine blocks him off rather excellently there, if I say so myself. War Machine does run a little bit deep there, though. So we've got another yellow flag. It's a Haas. It's Imo Bird, who is likely spun or has lost control of the car on the curbs of that chicane. As we're on board with Stroke Race, who spins at the Spinala curve. JDM might gain a position off that. As we see a position swap between Piastri and War Machine. Piastri finally gets ahead of War Machine using DRS. So he wasn't able to do it last lap, he does it this lap. But War Machine keeps pretty close to Piastri actually, and is actually not far to being alongside him. We're going to see if he makes a dive down here. It'd be rather foolish to make a dive on such a narrow circuit, but he doesn't. Actually keeps a bit cautious there, but Piastri does make a slight mistake heading off into that corner at the end of the chicane there. On board with Elongated. Hamilton's lost 2 positions. Not sure what happened to Hamilton there. But he's definitely lost positions. He's shown rather impressive form though. He's outing for Div 3, first outing. be up there in P5 currently. He was P3 at one point, but Urban Growth's gained a metric shit ton of positions and is now in P3 as a result. So very solid effort there from him there. He's narrowed the gap to Greeny, but Greeny could still win the title as we have a Alpine who spun at the Spinala curves. His teammate Coco gets past him for P14. Unfortunately for Goffey there, he's got a penalty and he's now down in P15. So we're seeing Stroker Race and JDM slow down. There's a virtual safety car, not sure what for. We're seeing Edmo 5 seconds in front. Perks is also 5 seconds in front of Urban Growth though, as AMG Hamilton takes out the speed bollard as an act of defiance. You Rebel you, and pits lap 5 of 16 with 11 laps to go. Piastri gains places, a couple of cars gain places. We've actually got we've got Flunky elongated and Hamilton all pitting. Goffey's now got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so it's gotten even worse for him, unfortunately. On board with Goffey in the pit lane now. He sees pit crew going down the track. We're still under virtual safety car rules. So we're seeing Edmo start to catch up to the back markers. Within a few laps the way he's going, he's going to actually catch up and lap them, which is quite impressive. It's indicative of his pace, to be honest. He's absolutely sailing, smooth sailing out there for Edmo out in front. 4.6 seconds the gap with the virtual safety car in hand. I'll go back and have a look at... yeah. As War Machine now has a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC. Very unfortunate there from War Machine. He had a solid run, but he hasn't pitted yet, so he can probably, given that we're no longer under safety car conditions, he can use that to pit. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. Can't see what's going on down there. AMG Hamilton comes out in P12 on the medium tyre. As we've had War Machine gain 3 seconds of penalties. So that's gotten even more unfortunate for War Machine there. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. It is AMG Hamilton at the Spinala curves. Still got a long way to go, mate. You can do this. As we've got a Haas that nearly lost it there, as Perks laps I'm a Bird. The Bird started pretty well, got into the top 10, but unfortunately has just had a shocker of a race. Largely beyond his circumstances, if I say so myself. I believe he got spun. Is what it is. So we're on board with Edmo, who is slowing way down for some reason in that corner. Not sure why. Maybe he's lost like 1.5 seconds to Perks. Maybe they're planning on a position swap or something. But it's not ideal to do that because Urban Growth isn't that far behind Perks. So Greeny slowly but consistently approaching to lap his teammate. He handles the Spinala curve quite nicely as Piastri down in P6 isn't far behind him. Bremer P7, War Machine P8 yet to pit and also has a drive-through penalty for speeding under VSC. Mad Dog P9, Hendo P10. He's shown impressive form in qualifying, up in the top 5 usually, but here he's missed out in a few places. I've got a knock on my door, one sec. Lap 7 of 16, we are nearly at the halfway point of this race. We've got Edmo sailing out in front with a 5.3 second lead, now 5.4. By the way, we will not be doing podium interviews tonight due to technical difficulties. Given this game can't even handle a bloody lobby correctly, yeah, can't be bothered. It's a thankless job running these lobbies. The game is so buggy. And so... It's basically an Italian sports car. It doesn't run correctly half the time. And I'm talking like a 159 with a Soleil speed and 3.2 litre V6. Oh, Goffey nearly loses it there heading out on those curves. He might have bumped them a bit too much. The sausage curbs are mounted quite highly there, and the Courage is ramming through them to a degree. As Hamilton now has a 3-second time penalty, so his good start's just gone down the drain. Currently running P12 and kind of nowhere near anyone. Out of the points. Fortunately for him, sorry, I should say. We've still got half the race left to go. As we're now back on board with Rapid Hendo, who's currently running P9. So decent stuff left from Hendo to slowly but surely gain positions as Mad Dog has come out of the pit lane. I believe he pitted. We're gonna have a quick look. Oh, just swapped driver apparently. Let's have a quick look at the tyres. Nope, okay, it's the wrong thing. Yeah, he did pit this lap. Fair enough. Alright, I'm gonna get out of the spectator menu. Edmo's gap is now 6 seconds, with Urban Growth further 4 seconds exactly further back from Perks, as we have War Machine now going into the pit lane, having served his penalty. He's got to go all the way to the end of there, because Williams finished 10th in the 2020 Constructors' Championship, so they've got to go all the way to the end. Oh no. No, sorry, it's the start, it's the other way around. You'd think, given I've been watching F1 race highlights, among other things, you'd think I'd remember, as we have a Ferrari in the Spinala Curbs at a stroke race, who has become a victim, once again, of the Spinala Curbs, as Goffey now has a 3-second time penalty for mounting the curbs a little too aggressively. And most gaps now 6.1 seconds. He also has a penalty, fascinatingly enough, also at the Sausage Curbs from Hell. The gaps now shrunk a little bit to 5.8 seconds, but he's still got enough time to spare to be able to serve that penalty and keep his position with no problems. Good yellow flag down in sector 3. It looks like an Alpine. It is indeed an Alpine. It is Goffey, who's giving way to Stroker Race and Perks. Laps him. So your top 10 on lap 9 of 16 are Edmo, Perks, Urban Growth, It's Your Boy here. So an Aston Martin 3-4 and a McLaren 1-2. With Greeny now pitting on lap 9 of 16 in the Haas. Bremer now P5. Piastri also pits. Hendo now has a golden opportunity here to gain plenty of positions, which is particularly buoyed if he has a safety car. Or is it? No, it's not. Never mind. He gains a lot of positions from that. He undercut Piastri and Greeny in a rather nice timed pit stop earlier on this race. So we're going to go back on board. God, those cars bottom out quite heavily, don't they? Below 300 kilometers per hour. This track does require high downforce to navigate its corners effectively and efficiently. As now Hamilton comes back out, he's undercut. Has put him back into the points about in P8. As War Machine now has a 5-second penalty. Perks also has a penalty for exceeding track limits. He did it at the Spinala Curves, so the Spinala Curves have claimed another victim. So, taking those curves very cautiously there. So it's your boy here is in P3 now, with Bremer in P4. The 2 Alpha Tower is repeating the real-life F1 Abu Dhabi performance. So that was a good effort there from the 2 Alpha Tower boys. With Elongated currently running in P7, his first race in a while. He handles the Spinala curve rather nicely, but nearly loses it heading out of it. Good car control there from him to handle that. As Edmo dives into the pit lane, I believe he will be able to serve his penalty in here, actually. Was it a 5-second or a 3-second? We're not going to check. We don't check for competitive reasons. No, he's just dived. He's gone straight through. Is he on the medium tyre? Hard to say at this point. Yeah, he's on the medium tyre. You can see as I'm a Bird has a 3-second time penalty. Hendo's still in P5. He might know he's not going to gain, but he's now in P4 from Mitzi Boy here pitting, who comes out. Will Urban Growth get ahead of Mitzi Boy here? Yes, he will, as will Elongated, who currently has DRS on this massive main straight. Let's see, he's not quite close enough to make a move there, but Hamilton gets ahead of Itzy Boy here, so Itzy Boy has a bit of work to do to catch up. He's lost a few places from that pit stop from pitting a bit late. Turns out this track does benefit you pitting early and gaining an undercut. And it kind of punishes the long runners, the ones who can manage their tyres nicely, especially on shorter races such as this. We're on lap 10 of 16, and Perks leads Bremer and Endbo. Endbo comes out P3 as Goffey now gains a 3-second time penalty. As we have Stroker Race and Goffey exchanging positions. They are running P16 and 17 respectively. Also a lap down from everyone else, as Perks now goes into the pits. He's the only medium runner in the top 10 who started on the medium tyres. That was a very Murray Walkerism there, if I say so myself. But he's going to pit for the soft tyre. As Bremer now cuts out ahead. No, Bremer pits. Bremer's also been in... he didn't really set a lap, but he now has a 5-second penalty anyway for speeding in pit lane. So that gives Edmo clean air out in front with a lapped car of, I believe, Goffey. Kirko is down in P15 though, so it could be Kirko. No, it's not Kirko, it is Goffey then. Kind of running last. So now Hendo's up into the podium places. Had he been a little bit quicker there, he could have jumped Perks there. The War Machine now has another 3-second time penalty, so War Machine's unfortunately had a race to forget around Imola. As Elongated and Urban Growth exchange positions, there's a good battle there between these two. Unfortunately, I missed out on it because I was focusing on Hendo. As AMG Hamilton comfortably sits in P6. It's a boy here, not able to gain the gap. To recover a little bit, he's kept his position from after lap 1. Of course, he started P3. He'd ideally like to be still up there in the top 5, but points is better than nothing. So we've got Bremer not far behind, and Bremer is on the soft tyre, so he's definitely got a pace advantage compared to Greeny. But this track, as stated before, is very narrow, and as a result, it is very easy to kind of hold your line here, barring the big singular DRS zone on the main straight. Piastri rounding out the points paying positions with flunking P11 with no penalties. He did well there to not get any penalties. Goffey mowing the lawn as Edmo sets fastest lap on the medium tyre. There's no stopping this man, I swear. He's absolutely sailing out in front there. I think Perks might have had a bit of a mistake there because he lost a bit of time there. The gap's now 6.9 seconds. Nice. And Hendo is currently P3 with Elongated pretty far behind him. Top speeds between these two are reasonably similar at around about 299 kilometers per hour. Elongated is slightly quicker actually on the main straight, which is interesting. So he's gone for a more speed-orientated setup, which is a bit of a ballsy move around here given the complexity of the corners. AMG Hamilton's definitely caught up to Urban Growth. He's showing impressive pace on the medium tyres. Catching right up there. Actually, City's personal best first sector there. So quality effort there from him as Piastri spins! Oh, and keeps the car in one piece. I believe he does. He stopped on track. Yeah, he's kept it on track as Flunky now gains positions, as does his teammate Mad Dog. He stayed there on track, he's coming back out. He's got plenty of room to JDM further back behind as JDM is lagging like mofo. He's got the cars currently getting out of the way of Edmo once again, I think. I think Edmo's just lapped these guys twice. So, Edmo OP, please nerf. And AMG Hamilton gets ahead of Urban Growth on the chicane there. Urban Growth probably not far behind him. Urban Growth got front wing damage. No, they have the respect for each other and they didn't hit each other. Perks sets the fastest lap of 1:16.4. It's a very good lap there from Perks. Set fastest lap in P2. War Machine gains position from Piastri there, who runs off and mows the lawn a little bit more. War Machine gains a few more places as Piastri have damage. Piastri has no front wings, so yeah, Piastri. I mean, he did hit that wall before, so didn't realize it tore off his front wing though. Hamilton now has a 3-second time penalty and loses a lot of momentum, nearly loses control of the car. And Urban Growth's caught up to him quite a bit as a result. Hamilton just sends it down those chicanes. That chicane in particular, those chicanes, that implies there's two sets of them. No, there's just one. As the track starts to have a cloud cover over it, as Armorbird has gained another 3-second time penalty, currently running P16. And Kirko isn't all that far behind Piastri, but Piastri's yet to pit. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. It is the Williams of Flunky. Unfortunate there for him. He was in the points for a little bit there. Mad Dog gains from Flunky's loss. Greeny in P9. We've got Aston Martin and of Urban Growth. Wow, okay. Bremer just made a wonderful pass there, past Urban Growth on the chicane there. It's sailing away. Those soft tyres paying off in dividends for Bremo. He's currently running P6, but the two Aston Martins don't have penalties. I think It's Your Boy here is the faster of the two Aston Martins currently. They might do team orders, but we've only got 2 laps left to go. So, and Edmo has lost time to Perks. Perks has been flying actually. Perks did set the fastest lap indeed, but he's gained something in the ballpark of 3 seconds this lap alone as JDM gets past Flunky for P11. Mad Dog currently comfortable in the final points paying position. Likely will get DRS if he keeps his pace up to Greeny. He is gaining time on Greeny. He's not even using DRS either. Got a yellow flag in Sector 1. It is War Machine. So War Machine's being lapped. Piastri's still racing, and Urban Growth and Piastri are in each other's cars as a result. Because back markers are obviously ghosted to prevent griefing. We've got two Aston Martins very close alongside each other, and Elongated is very close to Rapid Hendo. Elongated could get a podium on his return here. He's avoided penalties. He's been handling this track very well so far. Like he's been racing here for a while now. This track has been out since, I believe, October, so it has been out for 2 months now, but it's still many people are still adapting to this very technical and narrow circuit, as both Aston Martins score penalties, and Greeny is able to benefit from that, from being less than a second behind It's Your Boy here. He'll likely gain 2 positions from that if he can keep close to these cars with 1 lap to go. Elongated has DRS over Rapid Hendo, and more ERS to boot as well. So we might get ahead here. We're going to go on board with Elongated. He's catching up. He's catching up. He's going to take the outside line. He's indeed going to take the outside line. Does he sail past Hendo comfortably? Yes, he does. Into the P2 and 3. Sorry, comes into P3 and into turn 2 and 3 as a result. Sails away from Rapid Hendo. Awesome stuff there from Elongated. Bremer isn't far behind Rapid Hendo either. Kirko's gained another penalty. We might see Bremer make a move on Hendo here for P4. Hendo gets out of the way graciously. Team effort there. Hamilton tries to take advantage of that and nearly loses the back end a little bit. So Hendo might try to defend here from the sister car. Just because they're sister teams doesn't mean they necessarily have alliances with each other, though. We've got the two Aston Martins as Piastri yeets into the wall. And unfortunately, a bad race has gone worse for Piastri. SFR Piastri, formerly TES Signs, currently down in P15 as Urban Growth spins! Urban Growth has become a victim of the spinala curve, and unfortunately is down in P9 as a result of that. We've got a yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3. The two McLarens are sailing out in front. The gap between second and third is 16 seconds. SFR Piastri has been disqualified from session, which is a unique... I guess he's been cutting corners and has just thrown in the towel for this race, which is fair enough. It's been an awful race for him, unfortunately, as we're seeing Edmo lag across the track. Maybe this is why everyone's scared of him. Maybe this is why he's untouchable, because, I mean, it's just kind of teleporting across the track. But Perks is only 3 seconds behind him now. The gap's getting ever so closer. I think he might be sailing a bit, actually. No, he's got full throttle. I don't know what's going on there. But Bremer has gained back P3 from Elongated on the final lap. So wonderful effort there from Bremer. Unfortunately, Bremer does have a penalty. So it's kind of a bit of a nothing burger, if I say so myself, because he will likely lose that penalty unless Bremer has an absolutely stonking lap on this final lap. I didn't get to see his first sector time, but a quick look. See what he can do in this sector. Hopefully Spinala Curve does not claim another victim. No, he handles that quite nicely, as Bremer actually sadly does gain a 3-second time penalty for barely exceeding track limits. So that effectively gives Elongated a well-deserved podium for solid, consistent results there, keeping it on track. We're going to go back on board with Edmo. Edmo crosses the line to finish the race in first with Perks in P2 behind him, so it's a McLaren 1-2. We're on board with Bremer now, who will likely not finish P3 as Flunky DNFs from the race. We're going to go on board with Elongated, who will be our final podium sitter of this race, barring some black magic shitfuckery. We're seeing Flunky's car on the road, and Elongated takes P3 with AMG Hamilton taking P4. Greeny, sorry, taking P4, with It's Your Boy here taking P5, AMG Hamilton taking P6, Bremer P7. Urban Growth's going to cross the line here. Mad Dog will likely stay P9 and Hendo will likely stay P10. Some wonderful stuff there from Greeny in particular to make a massive recovery from that. He did start P3, lost a lot of positions there, and managed to claw his way back to P4 as we see rain falling on the track on the last lap. Bit too late for the rain, but it is what it is. Edmo, Perks, and Elongated are your podium sitters. 1-2 for McLaren and 3rd for Alfa Romeo. We're going to go into the next race. I've got to change the lobby settings so we're on short quali. Because you can do that, apparently. I had no idea, and it just goes to show my lack of experience with setting up lobbies. But, in my defense, lobbies are stupidly complex to set up with settings in random spots. They don't just have a single thing with all the settings. They put them in random little spots, like the grid spots are in the weekend structure, which isn't fun. So no podium interviews for this race, or the next race in Brazil, because of technical difficulties, but that's okay. Elongated gets driver of the day, well deserved. Finished P3 there, excellent stuff there. My Xbox is making fan noises. You see the podium ceremony, a feat that was replicated in real life at Monza. On the other Italian track in Div 3 for Season 1, we have a McLaren 1-2. This team is... These two are borderline unstoppable, I'd say. They are so quick. We regularly see a McLaren on the podium. Despite that, though, they aren't leading the Constructors, fun fact. So... Gotta wait for everyone to cut through. So your points paying positions, obviously the McLaren's in 1-2, Edmo Perks with Elongated in P3, Greeny in P4, It's Your Boy here in P5, AMG Hamilton in P6, Bremer in P7, Urban Growth in P8, Mad Dog in P9, and Hendo rounding out your points paying positions. We've got one more race left. Stay tuned, everyone. And yeah, got 15 seconds till lobby closing. So. Right, we're now in Brazil, and now I'll go into settings real quick, into the weekend structure. Realistic, qualifying format, short. There you go. Easy peasy. Just like that. Apparently you can do that. I'm surprised it hasn't made the game explode, if I'm going to be honest, because we are talking about F1 2021. We are now ready. There's a 5-minute break, but if people really want to, they can just get started. I'm just going to double check I've removed that. Yep, okay. So it's no longer set by grid. Someone's just left the session. Just want to make sure in case, because you never know with these bloody games. Let's see who's just left the session. It was Rapid Hendo and the AlphaTauri who left the session. Oh, I was going to say, I thought Flunky looked like Nicholas Latifi there for a second, but it's proven very wrong. That's alright, Hendo. See you later, mate. So that means now we're now down a man. We also lost a Red Bull though. So alright, so we have 5 people ready. Fortunately, brakes are on their side. They can take as much time as they want. Quality burp there from yours truly. So Urban Growth would have gained 4 points from that then. And Greeny would have gained 12, 8-point difference. I believe the points that Greeny needed to solidify his Drivers' Championship was 7. So, yeah, he mathematically wins by a point. So how was that race for everyone? Did you all enjoy that, barring the technical difficulties that plagued the first half of this session? Hope you did. Alright. Actually, I have to go pee. I'll be right back. What a time to come back. We are getting ready for... the hell's on my shirt? Anyway, getting ready for the short quali and race in Brazil. So we've only got a few races to go after this. Obviously we're going to be finishing off in a double header because we want everyone to have a Christmas break. Because unlike many workplaces on planet Earth, we respect individual human rights. Yeah, I got political again. Everyone have a shot. It's an inside joke between me and my friends. Anyway, enough of that. The session will start in 50 seconds or less, depending on what the game feels like doing. And let's have a look. Alright, qualifying is starting. It looks very ominous out there, if I say so myself. Got grey skies flooding the track in a greyish light. Bit gloomy out there. Will it be gloomy for our possible new champion? Not sure yet. Unfortunately, the way the championships go in Rapid Racing League, once you've won in your divisions, you can't go back unless you get relegated. So that's fun. So unfortunately, I will not see Greeny racing anymore beyond the last two races next week. So if Greeny does get into Div 2, wish him well. Hopefully that's a fun, just as fun as Div 3 has been. Div 3 has been a lot of fun to commentate. A lot of you guys can be dicks sometimes, but you know, that's the reality of things. We're all different mindsets, all different mentalities, different ages. It is what it is. Hope you've enjoyed my commentary, and yeah, it is what it is. We're going to go on board with Greeny and AMG Hamilton, the first two cars out on track. Obviously JDM likes to set the strongest impression. We've got Flunky, who's managed to make yeet himself and disqualify himself from blocking the pit. Nice. So Williams and Brazilian pit lane fuck-ups, they're a more iconic duo. I'm talking about the 2019 and 2021 Grand Prix, where a Red Bull was both times impeded. I believe a Red Bull in the 2021 Grand Prix, I can't remember. But good morning, Vorno. Hope you're doing well. And also, good evening to you, Pajala. Thank you for joining. We've got Bremer coming out behind a slow-moving, disqualified Williams. So we're now on the main straight on board with Greeny, the first car out on track, and likely the first to set a timed lap. It is very tricky to navigate turns 1, 2, and 3 correctly, though. There's a very fine line here between nailing the apexes and being invalidated, and you can see there he's just invalidated his lap. Let's see if AMG Hamilton follows the same procedure. No, but he does run very wide and actually almost loses it and mows the lawn as a result. So two fondled laps, unfortunately. Gonna go on board with JDM. Has JDM invalidated? No, he's managed to avoid that and has managed to keep his car stable across turn 3. So let's follow JDM on board. He sets the purple sector as a 16.9. Nice. So, thank you, Pajala, thank you. As we've got JDM moving past AMG Hamilton, who graciously gets out of the way. So, going down Sector 2 now, heading through the most technical part of the Brazilian circuit. I didn't like this track at first, fun fact. It didn't do a lot for me. I thought the changes between the really smooth, fast-flowing bits and the technical Sector 2 was a bit jarring and a bit off-putting, but I've since grown to really love this circuit. I don't know why. It's just become one of my favourite tracks on the Formula 1 calendar, and I'm glad it's here to stay. There were fears for a while there. There were genuine fears that they would move it to, I think it was Rio? As we're going to go on board with JDM. He sets a time lap of a 1:18.3. So not too bad. Not great, but not too bad either. So we're going to see if he stays out to improve. He's definitely eased off a bit. His stroke race setting a 1:11.2. But anyway, yeah, I've grown really fond of this track in no small part thanks to Gran Turismo Sport, because I loved racing GD cars through there, and then it just kind of clicked for me in the F1 games. So anyway, I've got on board with Bremer. I'm going to go on board with the McLarens also. We've got Edmo starting his fastest lap. We're going to definitely go on board with him here. Just seeing the comments down below. As Edmo manages to avoid running off into invalidating his lap, and Coco sets a 1099, so not a bad effort there from Coco to set such lap. I'm going to go back down to Edmo, who, I don't know, he didn't set a purple first sector, which is interesting. His setup might be orientated towards Sector 2, and of course, there's different philosophies with this track. You focus on the technical part of this and gain a massive advantage from nailing it, or you make your car a speed king and kind of hold yourself on the apexes in the technical parts of the track. That's at least my approach to it, depending on the setup I have. I obviously only have one, but I am more inclined to go for the technical side of things. Well, it's kind of like a weird mix, but anyway. Enough of my setup blabble. He doesn't set a purple second sector. That's interesting from Edmo. Dominated in Imola, set an absolutely dominating race win there. He's won the last 2 races, actually. And he's got DRS. He's going to hug the inside line here, heading down the start-finish straight. What does he do? He sets a 1085. Not enough to upset JDM. So I was wrong about JDM. JDM did genuinely set a good lap then. Is this your boy? He sets a 1083 within JDM's realm there, as JDM does improve. And that's it for the time lapse so far. Bremer invalidates once again, unfortunately. Greeny does set a purple middle sector, so he's followed my philosophy with setups. Yeah, the fact I got points here last night, yeah. Unfortunately, though, it could have been P4. Gonna go aboard Greeny. Does he set fastest lap? No, he sets a 108616. Good enough for P4. Very tight up the top there, just 3/10 between the top 4. And I've got plenty more cars coming through and setting competitive laps. As Elongated sets a 1100, and he has unfortunately invalidated his lap. Mad Dog sets a 1117, which is the slowest time so far this session. And Striker S sets at a 1106. But yeah, it could have been P4. Yeah, boy. I really wish it was. I would have done a shoey, as JDM sets a benchmark time of a 1080. Unfortunately, it was just P8. But I managed to break my points curse, so I'm very happy with that. Made me feel like I actually have pace for once. Made me feel good about myself until the crippling, crushing depression of reality sets in afterwards. You know, when you don't chat to anyone and you're alone. Anyway, enough of that. Bird's currently set the slowest time of everyone else, but to be fair, he is on the medium tyre with a 112.7 as Coco improves. I think he improved. No, Bremer actually finally set a lap time of a 1089. Wonderful stuff there from Bremer to set a very competitive lap time on the medium tyre. Tyre deg is pretty high, particularly in, well, actually throughout the whole track, actually. High speed corners with high tyre loads. Yeah, not ideal. But it is what it is for Rumble with AMG Hamilton 558. Ironically, in the Red Bull, as Perks sets the fastest lap, 3/10 quicker than JDM with a 1077. So excellent stuff there from Perks to set the fastest lap of this race. Excellent stuff. So got friends coming over as I'm commentating. They will not be in here though. I'll be obviously chatting to them afterwards. So I've got Perks going off and giving room. Fun fact, I did this last night and apparently was out there for too long and had 2 laps invalidated. I had this lap and next lap are invalidated because I was apparently too nice. Apparently you can be too nice at F1 and be punished for it. But I guess that is kind of a thing in F1 anyway. But AMG Hamilton setting a purple first sector, but then Mick yeeting it into the tyre wall there and likely damaging his front wing. He actually manages to avoid front wing damage, but is unfortunately likely killed momentum of his lap there after setting a purple first sector. Rumble with Urban Growth, who set a purple second sector. Good stuff there from Urban Growth. Let's see what Urban Growth 5983 can do in his Aston Martin. The number, we're going to figure out what number it is at some point. Here we go. Number 8 Aston Martin. He set a pole lap? No, he sets a lap good enough for the second row along his side, his teammate. 1081 as, wow, that was some contact there between these two. Very close there. Should give each other a bit more room heading through there, guys. Top 2 currently in the pit lane is Urban Growth in P3 with a 1081. Good lap there from Urban Growth. I have friends. Yeah, I know. Weird, right? Mad Dog currently in P8 with a 1093. Has improved in Sector 2, so that's looking good for him. If he gets into the 108 bracket, that's good news for him, because then he joins the ever-competitive field of the top 7 currently, which will then become the top 8. So we're going to see, he takes the wide line up this banked corner here. He sets a 1093, so he just actually is just fractionally slower. as Elongated is also quite a bit slower. Kirko dives into the pit lane, takes the safe route in. A lot of us just yeet it into the pit lane. A lot of us just, yeah, it's fun. It's fun, but also very, very risky, because you could just run up someone's ass who wants to take it slow. And unfortunately, that's not taking it slow. That's going up the rear end of a random F1 car at like 200 kilometers per hour before you brake. War Machine's invalidated his lap. Currently 14th fastest, but one of 3 cars not set times. Flunky was disqualified for blocking the pit lane. Bit of a meme, but it is what it is. Sometimes that just happens. These games can be a bit anal with penalties. And Goffey, I believe, crashed out. War Machine would have set a time good enough for P11 there. But unfortunately, Validate, he goes very wide there. Manages to keep it within track limits, though. That's rather interesting. I was surprised to see that, given the inconsistencies in track limits and what invalidates and what does not invalidate. And we've got SFR Piastri drifting. So we're now further down. We're going to go on board with Edmo, who sets a 107.7. It's the tightest of margins between the two McLarens, but the two McLarens are back up there in first and second. Barely any time between them. Look at that. Edmo with a 107.751 and Perks with a 107.753. Wow, that's impressive. That's very impressive to have nearly identical times there. So oh, what happened here? That's definitely not Perks. Perks is in the garage. JDM's run a bit wide there, unless I was focusing on Edmo. Yeah, I was absolutely focusing on Edmo. So we've got 7 minutes to go until the end of this qualifying session. Bit of a slow qualifying session, but when the laps are barely above 60 seconds, I guess you get a lot of them done pretty quickly. Gives you lots of opportunities to set laps. We're on board with Greeny currently. We're going to see if he can improve on his first sector. Very narrow window. He actually goes purple in the first sector, so that's a very good effort there from Greeny. Mounts that curb just a little bit too much. You can definitely lose a bit of momentum there from going over that curb a bit too much. So it goes through the double right-hander here into the start of Sector 2. Well, into the meat and potatoes of Sector 2, if I say so myself. See how he handles his apexes rather nicely there. Does he short shift out? No, he does not. But he manages to keep the car really stable heading out of there. That's interesting. So he's got his setup nice and honed down there. Yeah, that, or he's really comfortable with his setup. Because it's one thing to be really comfy with his setup, but it's another to be able to be super consistent. As he sets a purple middle sector there, 3/10 up. It's looking very good there for Greeny. Setting 2 purple sectors as War Machine retires from session, having set the 11th fastest time with a 109.7. Let's see what Greeny can set. Crosses the line, 108.3. Good enough for P5. So as it stands, 6 minutes to go. Edmo, Perks, JDM, Urban Growth, Greeny, who's doing celebratory donuts. It's your boy here, Bremer, Piastri, Mad Dog, and Elongated. Round out your top 10 currently in qualifying. They will be starting on the tyres that they chose for their fastest laps. Of course, there's still plenty of time for them to change the tyres and potentially set even faster laps on those tyres. But they're all on the soft compound tyre as it stands. Hope you all can hear me being quieter. I want to be respectful for my brother and his friends out there. And my friends. Yes, I know Dutchy. I have friends. AMG Hamilton has not set a time yet. The only one who hasn't retired to not set a time yet. Maybe he's doing the last to first challenge or something. We'll find out in due course. Still plenty of time left as we see a McLaren. See movement in the McLaren pit wall, so that means one of the McLarens is coming out. Maybe both. They're both in the pit lane as it stands. Not much improvement there, not much movement on the leaderboard as it stands. Seeing Urban Growth setting another flying lap. He has used a lot of ERS though, so he runs very wide on that curb there, so he's likely lost a bit of momentum there. Still has improved, actually. That's impressive. Improved that much. So we can see him go into the meat and potatoes of this track. Anyway, as Bremer goes fastest, wow, 107.6. Unexpected. He's shown pace a lot, actually, in the races throughout this season. But to upsurp Edmo and Perks like that, that's mighty impressive there. It's a quality lap there from Bremer to put it on provisional pole with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left to go as we're back on board with Evan Growth. He's crossed the Sector 2 timing zone and he's down by a tenth. It's got to be very momentum based here to be able to return any sort of benefit from that lap he's just done. He's low on ERS as well to make things worse. He's eased off. So he's called off a lap as we're on board with Stroker Ace now, who's 2 tenths down. I'm a Bird has improved by quite a bit but runs very wide into the main straight entrance. I did see that comment, Pajala, by the way. Anyway, yeah, we'll see what I'm a Bird sets. He might get a 110 or 109. So it's a 110.2. Good enough to beat Stroker Ace by the slightest of margins and puts him up into P13. We're going to wait for AMG Hamilton. He's on an outlap on the medium tyre. I think he's the only one running on the medium tyre right now. Actually, let's have a quick look. Yeah, looks like it. Why is this camera doing this? Greeny comes out on the soft tyre, Evan Growth's in the pit. Oh, and we see wing damage between the Alpha Tauri of Bremer and JDM. Hopefully it doesn't result in a grid penalty. That would be rather unnecessary. As Evan Growth retires from session, having set the 5th fastest time. So he's content with that. It's a good entry point to getting into the top 4 at this point, given the 107 club is rather elusive at this point. A lot of people hovering around it. Well, actually only 3, I was completely wrong, but a lot of people able to improve on their times too, is my guess. We're going to see what AMG Hamilton does. Sets a purple middle sector. Mighty impressive effort there to do that on the medium tyre, if I say so myself. It might be a bug though, because we are talking about F1 2021, a game that can't count properly. So let's see what goes on here. Hug the inside line there. Crosses the line, sets a time good enough for P8, a 108.572. Good lap there from AMG Hamilton on the medium tyre. Could improve, but as it stands, it's a decent benchmark time. He'll have time to do one more lap. Mad Dog and Piastri, the 2 Mercedes-Benz, currently P9 and P10. So we've got Elongated, I believe, setting a lap. Yeah, he's definitely setting a lap, because he gets a bit too close to comfort from Piastri, but Piastri probably didn't see him coming, considering he was on his blind spot a little bit. And it depends on the cameras they're using, because of course, we always just naturally assume by this fixed camera that they just use as camera, but of course people might use the cockpit camera, they might use that weird nose camera. Elongated does go 1/10 up, 10th and a half up to be specific, so that bodes well if he can keep the momentum, as shown there. He definitely has shown that he can do that. You can see how much he benefits from his consistent lap so far. Instead of 109.696, he sets a 109.223, 4.73 tenths quicker than his previous personal best, but not enough to gain him any places, unfortunately. But he does get closer to the Mercedes duo. So we've got a yellow flag in sectors 2 and 3. That's AMG Hamilton backing off, and an Aston Martin of... Was that an Aston Martin or was that an AlphaTauri? That's an AlphaTauri. I thought it was an Aston Martin. I don't know why, but I saw green from the light and I'm like, oh, okay. It's, apparently Bremer goes even faster in his outlap, even though that was a bug. Just Formula 1 2021 things. I've got both Hasses further down the field too. Further down the track, my apologies. As Perks goes even faster and sets a 107.527, 1/10 quicker than Bremer. Edmo dives into the pit lane. He probably does not have enough time left. I would be able to tell you, but we've got Sector 2 yellow flags because of a Haas of I'm a Bird retiring from session. We've also got yellow flags in Sector 3, which, okay, we've just finished. So Edmo and JDM stay in their positions, vulnerable to the cars behind them. Are they improving? It's your boy here invalidated. Greeny did improve and hasn't invalidated. It's your boy here retires from P7. AMG Hamilton's content with P8. But Greeny is not content with P6. Let's see how much he improves by. Crossing the line. Sets a time good enough for P5 at 108.0 on the dot. Beating the 2 Aston Martins and his title rivals technically, because they're not far behind him at all. And Bremer is invalidated and Perks is invalidated. So Perks sets McLaren's for the double header, locking out pole Excellent stuff there. Different drivers. Edmo locking up pole in Imola and Perks locking up pole in Brazil. We've got the race to go, people. Stick around. There's plenty more action yet to come here. We've got no other car setting times. Perks hasn't gotten into the pit lane yet. We are waiting on Perks to cross the line. He's doing a celebratory lap. Or he's likely ran out of fuel. Hard to say. Or the game is bugged. No, we're waiting on Bremer, to be fair. Yeah, the AlphaTauri is still heading into the garage there. You can see it faintly in the distance. There you go. He's finally retired from session. Number 2 starts in second place. We've got a race coming up. We've got the final race tonight coming up. Once again, I will remind everyone that there is going to be no podium interviews tonight. I do apologise in advance. I know everyone typically does that. But, technical difficulties have made me can't be fucked, to be honest. So, yeah. Perks on pole position, 1/10 down. Oh, and I've just skipped past that. 1/10 down from him in P2 is Bremer in the AlphaTauri. Very impressive effort there from him. Edmo in P3, JDM in P4, Greeny in P5, Evan Growth in P6, It's a Boy here in P7, AMG Hamilton in P8, Mad Dog in P9, SFR Piastri in P10. Those are your top 10. Further down the field, you've got Elongated, War Machine, Kirko, I'm a Bird, Strecker Race, Goffy, and Flunky. Goffy and Flunky did not set times. With Flunky disqualified from session after he apparently blocked the pit lane. I mean, he technically did, but wasn't intentional. So yeah, nice pole there, Perks. Very impressive effort there to bring that up out of nowhere in the last minute. So I'm going to have a quick look. Yeah, good quality for everyone. And, oh, fuck. Hearing my brother doing weird vocal impressions in the background there. If you do hear him, feel free to laugh. I don't really care. And I turn on my fan to provide a bit of a distraction. Hopefully, fill out the room with a bit more noise from the motor from the fan. Got 15 seconds left. Now, about 10 until the race starts. Hopefully, this race starts clean and we don't have... Oh, I burped. My apologies. The game doing game things and completely cocking up basic functions. But of course, you never know. 5 lights. Do we go green? We go green. Bremer does get a good start, although Perks gets an even better start and immediately gets ahead, although Bremer has the inside line, but Perks dives down the outside and takes P1 in commanding fashion. We've got the Edmo and Bremer having a bit of a close contact there. Edmo gains position from JDM, and Struck Race has left the session for some reason. He was down in P15, but it appears that everyone's started cleanly and has avoided damaging anyone's wings. Thankfully, we've managed to avoid that. This is the part of the track where the most contact happens because it gets narrower. The track narrows down into the more technical parts and everyone's trying to find their line. So we're on board with War Machine currently running P12. You can see here, Stroker Race and Goffy currently exchange positions. SFR Piastri and It's a Boy here. Oh, and they have contact actually, so that was very, very naughty of those two there. Very disrespectful, as Piastri comes back in a very risky manner and loses a lot of positions from that close contact between It's a Boy here and Piastri. Seeing more positions changing further down the field as Bremer spins. So Bremer on the front row, from front row to out of the points in a single lap. Fortunately, it is just lap 1, so he's just got to keep his head down, and he'll climb his way back up there. He's got the pace. He's shown he's got the pace. So as it stands, it's currently a McLaren 1-2 with Perks setting the fastest lap, 1 second ahead of Edmo in P2. As I'm a Bird DNFs from the session. I believe he crashed that. He did indeed crash that. This might bring out a full safety car, but currently as it stands, it's a virtual safety car. Yep, he's crashed. So Flunky now dives into the pit lane. Bremer dives into the pit lane as well. He might go on the hards. Kind of a silly decision to go on the hards if you ask me. Will Bremer make it in time? He will make it in time. Unfortunately for Flunky, he gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in pit lane. Yes, Sully's shirts. You're not dressed till you're wearing Sully's. Can Greeny wrap this up tonight? I reckon he can. He's currently running P4. Comfortably enough points to win. I reckon it's very likely. Although commentator's curse is a thing. And of course that could change things. Still in the virtual safety car here. So lap 1 was full racing. And due to Ummerbird's untimely DNF. And of course we've got limited edition Sully's shirts coming. Toto, it's a motor race t-shirt. The famous quote from Michael Massey. Because of course that last lap in Abu Dhabi was absolute chaos. But I am glad for when the Max Verstappen won the title. He deserved it. As the Virtual safety car ended a while back. DRS has been enabled, and Coco and Goffey, the two Alpines, exchange positions. We did have a car. What's happened to Elongated? It looks like he's damaged his front wing. He's ghosted. Got a podium in Imola. I see him diving into the pit lane on lap 3. I can't see what's happened to his car, but anyway. Fortunately, we can't really see what's going on there. But he's lost a buttload of positions as a result. And AMG Hamilton's currently running P6, so he's had a good start there. He was PA, so he's kept it quiet. And has gained 2 places as a result. Bremer retires from session. So it's very unfortunate. Did he crash out? Is it enough to cause a safety car? We've got a McLaren one too. Very unfortunate there from Bremer. He had an excellent job there in quality to get P2, but unfortunately it's all gone wrong. Fortunately for him, there's another double header next week, and he can come back and flex his qualifying and race muscles there. We see positions changed between the Mercedes as Mad Dog runs very wide. Actually, I think he might have spun actually coming out of that very tight left-hander. He's lost a few positions. Coco isn't far behind him. Flunky's gained a penalty for track limit violations. He's very far behind everyone else right now. He's got a long way to go before he can catch up to anyone else, as Edmo sets the fastest lap as Perks pits pretty early on, if I say so myself. And Greeny gains P2 in a wonderful dive there, getting past JDM, but JDM does have DRS, so JDM could definitely get back past Greeny. Greeny currently running P2, could wrap up the title in this race. JDM does get alongside him. He has the inside line. He gets ahead in a wonderful pass there, assisted by DRS. Quality racing from those two there. They give each other room there, and they didn't give each other any contact there. No damage to report from those two cars. As it is very close between the top from positions 3 to 7, 3 to 6 actually to be specific. Look how close it is. All 4 of these cars within about 3 seconds of each other. So we're going to go on board with the car that's the furthest back of this bunch, just to see all the action unfold. We have a yellow flag in Sector 2 somewhere. It's likely from either SFR Piastri or Perks, though Perks is not far behind Piastri. Piastri could absolutely lose a position there, as we're now back on board. Perks does get past actually. Does Piastri have any wing damage? He has a penalty for track limits. Oh, and he dives down the inside there. It's a bit of a weird line there to take. Edmo sets fastest lap, and AMG Hamilton gets ahead. Stays on the outside line there. Urban Growth and AMG Hamilton are side by side. They have slight contact there. Does he stay ahead? Does Urban Growth have DRS? Urban Growth has DRS. It's a boy here, waiting in the wings, waiting to gain from anyone's position losses as Greeny stays in P2. Sorry, P3. JDM now has a 3-second time penalty, which plays nicely into Greeny's hands. The consistency on Greeny is paying off in dividends as Mad Dog retires from session. There's a full safety car out. I'm going to try to figure out where Mad Dog crashed. He crashed up in Sector 2, so we've definitely had a much more eventful race so far than we did at Imola, and there is Mad Dog there. His car is damaged. He's left the session, so this gives those on the soft tyre a chance to pit now, to go on the long run on the medium tyre, as that tyre is durable enough to last it out from this point onwards. Will anyone do that though? We'll wait and see as we head onto the main start-finish straight. On board with Guarini currently in the sole running Haas, currently in the podium places. Let's see, Edmo does dive into the pit lane. Does JDM dive in the pit lane? JDM dives, Greeny dives. AMG Hamilton, interestingly, oh, and he overtakes in the pit lane. Does a Sebastian Vettel. And he actually gains a place from that. That's incredible. I've never seen that before, and I didn't realise you could do that. But yeah, Greeny finished P4 in Imola, and Urban Growth finished P8, I believe. But Greeny does get ahead anyway. There's a lot of position swaps in the pit lanes because the pit stops do have slightly varied timing. As Coco gains a boatload of positions from not pitting. He's one of the few cars to not pit. As a result, goes up, likely into P4. No, he will not gain P4. Will he even gain P5? No, he doesn't gain P5. AMG Hamilton tyre is going to run 12 laps on the soft tyre, which is rather interesting. He could have stayed out on the medium tyre and ran him until at least lap 12, but he opted to box early, which is rather interesting. We're waiting on Perks, who's down in P12. He's had not the run he's been looking for. Maybe he's had the box again. Not sure what happened there. We can have a quick look at the tyre. Yeah, he's lost a lot of positions. He's had one stop. Okay, so he's not had a good outlap, not had a good run on the medium tyre so far. Currently out of the points After at one point we had a McLaren 1-2 once again. So, as we go further back up through the cameras, you can see Stroke Race rounds out your points paying positions in P10 currently. The boy here is P9, Urban Growth P8, Greeny P7, Coco P6, AMG Hamilton with that stunning pit lane X-entrance overtake. Something I've never seen before in the Rapid Racing League. But he's meaning business on his first full outing in Rapid Racing League. JDM currently running P4 with a penalty though, so a penalty is a big question mark over your head. Still got the safety car out. I suspect we'll have it for one more lap. As SFR Piastri and Edmo pit, if they had a chance to pit, they should have pitted the lap prior. But nonetheless, if the safety car is still out, then they are not going to lose quite as many positions as they had envisioned. But this does effectively neutralise the McLaren 1-2, and Goffey is now leading the race. Having stayed out on the medium tyre, he's going long on the medium tyres. And JDM running P2 with AMG Hamilton in P3, the first of the soft runners, with Coco in P4. So Alpine has gone long on their stints, and it's paying off dividends. It's illegal to overtake under the safety car, apparently, going into the pits. That's interesting. So, it's an impressive move, but it's a bit of a no-no. And we've caught that on stream too, so that's not ideal at all. So, poor AMG Hamilton might get a post-race penalty for that. If you ask me personally, he shouldn't. Just like, I mean, I know people thought I should get post-race penalties for safety car restarts that I did, but, you know, boo-hoo. You know, I've had worse. People have worse. If you can't do it on track, you can't do it in the pits, I'm afraid. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Very, quite naughty there. Quite cunning, but quite naughty. We've seen Sebastian Vettel do it, and of course the FIA didn't give him any crap for that. But, Rapid Racing League. Yeah, nice, yeah, nice try. Yeah, exactly. Kudos to AMG for being so ballsy there to gain a place like that. And depending on his pace, the penalty might be nullified there. We'll have to wait and see though. We're nearly at half distance. Safety car is in this lap. So we might see the field bunch up a little bit. And depending on how these guys do safety car restarts, they might do them better than Div 1. Sorry, Div 1 guys, but really, it's kind of a mess. It's not real F1, it's a game for God's sake. Am I seeing any bumps? At the top end I'm not. See Perks and War Machine exchange positions as they get alongside each other, but there's no accidents. So there you go, Div 3 does safety car restarts better than Div 1 as Perks gains a monster restart and gains 2 positions going into Turn 1. Excellent overtake there as we're seeing a lot of cars go very wide further back of field, including Stroke Race, who cuts straight back onto the field, and we see Piastri spinning off. He's had a shocker of a double header currently. He's stuck there, staying there. I think he's going to retire from the race. AMG Hamilton has gained the lead though from Goffey. Greeny gains P3 from JDM. We've got Perks, who's gained a buttload of positions. He's now up to P7. As Piastri now retires from session. He's had a double header to forget. A lot of cars have gained positions here. We've had JDM fly very far down the field. Something's happened to JDM. I didn't see what happened. But Elongated is now the lead Alfa Romeo, as Goffey now has 3 seconds of time penalties. We're going to go on board with Greeny here. Sorry, that's Goffey. We're going to go on board with Greeny here. Goffey in the podium paying positions, still yet to stop, mind you. But the field is so close right now that he pits. Yeah, unfortunately, Greeny will only outscore Urban Growth by... Oh, and Goffey crashes. And Urban Growth nearly crashes too. Sorry, Greeny nearly crashes. That's another safety car. As it stands though, 18 points for Greeny, 15 points for Urban Growth. Not enough for Greeny to claim the title for Division 3. So another safety car, only 12 people running currently. It's not quite the Netherlands where we had just 6 runners. But we're about, you know, need to divide the field in half to get there. So you see cars getting very close to each other. AMG Hamilton currently leading the field, with Greeny down in P2 and the 2 Aston Martins. The McLarens have gained positions by virtue of the safety cars. Pit stops paying off for them in the end, despite the poor timing. Elongated currently running P6 with JDM. Currently, I mean, it should be P12, but once he was lapped. Might have been lap, to be honest. Hard to say, unless his internet's cut out. Nice job, Johnny Sullivan. Unfortunate, Goffy, but you did well. You did well, mate. It's always next week. Who's Jonathan? Oh, Johnny Sullivan. Who's Johnny Sullivan again? I forgot. Anyway. So as it stands, your top 10 are AMG Hamilton in the Red Bull, Greenie in the Haas, 2 Aston Martins of Evan Growth, and it's your boy here. Herx in the leading McLaren, Elongated in the leading Alfa Romeo, Edmo, Flunky, War Machine, Kirko, Stroker Ace, and JDM. I don't know where JDM is. JDM is very far behind everyone else. I'm not sure what happened there, unless for whatever reason JDM's lagged out of the session, which is very likely. He's ghosted. So he's the ghost of Christmas past. He's gone to celebrate Christmas. 1 week to go till Christmas, everyone. So, yeah. And then we're going into 2022. If you're all feeling old already, you're about to feel even more ancient. I know there's plenty of boomers. There's a few boomers in RRL. Basically, anyone over the age of 25 is a boomer now. I don't make the rules. It is what it is. Seeing AMG Hamilton swerving aggressively behind the safety car, repeating his namesake, who's often very, very pushy behind the safety car, likes to push the safety car a bit, strives for a GT-style lap from the safety car every lap, it seems. And I believe, well, we didn't get the safety car in Imola, so I don't know what safety car we had there, but this time around we've obviously got the red AMG GDR. And I do wonder what the safety car will be next season in 2022. Will we have an Aston Martin full-time, or will we still have the AMG GDR and the Aston Martin V8 Vantage, or just the Vantage? The V8 Vantage nameplate retired like a while back, but it's still a V8, so it still technically counts. And of course, they both had twin-turbo V8s, so that's probably why they've gone with them, to be honest, because they're easy to maintain. Well, they're not really, because it's German engines, and Germans make overly complicated engines, but between the two, they're identical nearly, so, you know, you only know how for one, you'll probably know the other. So we've got a bit of a Noah's Ark here of 2 Aston Martins, 2 Mercedes, and 2 Williams, all following each other in a weird Noah's Ark kind of pattern. How's the racing been tonight? It's been pretty good. Imola was quite dominant from McLaren, and Brazil so far has been rather hectic by virtue of just 2 safety cars. We only had a VSC in Imola, if I recall correctly. Why can't drive this shit on Friday nights? Who are you referring to, Pajala? Ah, you're referring to OCE. Right, gotcha. I'm not familiar with OCE's schedule, unfortunately. JDM finally gets in front of Goffy. Must have been 2 laps down or something. Considering he's behind War Machine, P12, yeah, my guess is, yeah, he was like 2 laps down. Although he's back now, so I got no idea what happened there. Very weird. Safety car is in this lap. Flunky's currently running P7. And it's a Noah's Ark from 3rd to 8th. Can these guys repeat the clean safety car restart? Are these guys better than Div 1 at safety car restarts? We will find out. AMG Hamilton, being the leader, is replicating his Div 1 superiors in being very slow on the safety car restart, squiggling around like a little worm. You know, worms do that. 5%, no, never mind, I'm wrong. It's your boy here has a 5-second penalty. So it turns out these guys are just like Div 1 with safety car restarts. Sorry to throw shade at Div 1, but yeah, unfortunately, we need to work on that. Edmo, it's your boy here loses a buttload of positions by virtue of spinning off, as does Elongated out of sympathy. JDM is disconnected from session. He's actually in his own lobby now, going by that bug. But Elongated, unfortunately, is last of the actual runners, as JDM is currently in the Ghosts of Christmas Past. Stroker Race gains a 5-second penalty for ignoring a yellow flag. I don't know what the criteria for ignoring a yellow flag is, but I believe we have another safety car. We have yellows in every sector. I don't know why we have yellow in Sector 1, but Stroker Ace and Kirko actually gets ahead of Izzy Boy here in a nice move. That's a good move there from Kirko. Kind of came out of nowhere, and War Machine is slowing right off, and Stroker Ace gains from War Machine, kind of napping at the wheel there, and Kirko gains from Stroker Ace. So Kirko's had a good run there. I have no idea if I've been disconnected from the lobby, or something's just happened, but it's been chaos in the lower midfield right now as AMG Hamilton sails away from Greeny in P2, as War Machine now has a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. There's yellow flags in every sector, so I don't know what's going on there. AMG Hamilton's setting the fastest lap. Something's gone horribly wrong with this game. So, anyway, he's still got yellow flags in every sector, bizarrely. Izzy Boy here finally gets back ahead of Kirko in turn 1. And Kirko loses another place to Elongated, in a nice move from Elongated. He managed to avoid losing it there. He eases off. I think the lobby is completely bugged because, yeah, they're getting penalties for ignoring yellow flags. I don't know what's going on, but people can't race because we've got permanent yellow flags now. The top guys are handling themselves fine. Urban Growth currently in P3 with Greeny in P2. Why do we still have yellow flags is a bit beyond me. No one can ever overtake. Alright, so it's a bit of a procession currently. DRS. Unfortunately, this is going to have to be a bit of a race of attrition. Obviously, we've only got a few laps left, so we will not restart this race. But anyone who gains penalties from there on out will lose out massively because people can get close to each other, but they can't overtake. So this game has completely shat the bed in the most spectacular fashion possible, as we have War Machine spinning off and damaging his front wing. The cars in front might be told to give the place back. I mean, would be a hardcore meme, as War Machine does celebratory donuts, knowing that he still has a points playing position no matter what he does at this point. Hamilton has indeed gained a lot, as Greeny does what I say he probably shouldn't have done, and has gained a 3-second time penalty. Urban Growth isn't far behind him at all. So, yeah. So yeah, I've just been told that, yeah, things are bugged. Unfortunately, it is what it is. We are just going to have to go to the end as it is. People are just going to have to stay close to each other and gain advantage from penalties, as Perks makes an attempt of a nice move, but unfortunately cannot take advantage of that nice outside line because the game is buggy. The game is so buggy, it's a beehive. It's a beehive. I'm sticking with that. So, shall I just do results from safety car restart? Well, no, people are still racing. It's all still have it pretty close here, so unfortunately, just keep it clean, and if you avoid getting more penalties in the cars in front, you will gain positions. So, get Christian Horner in the lobby, he'll fix it. Yeah, he will. Yeah, good old Christian Horner. I thought that dude was in his, like, late 50s, and he's only 44, which is interesting. Like, he's a lot younger than I thought he was. But yes. Poor dude's probably aging a lot from these last few seasons in Formula 1. Actually, probably aged a lot from the turbo hybrid era in general, honestly, given the ups and downs Red Bull have endured in that. So Coco gets ahead of Itsy Boy here, but might be told to give the place back. I'm not sure. We'll wait and see. Got these cars very close alongside each other. Greeny has a penalty, so he's definitely going to lose a lot of positions here. Unfortunately, not going to gain the sufficient points he needs to clinch the title just yet. As Urban Growth is alongside him. Will he make the move? Urban Growth will make the move down. Very nice move there from Urban Growth to get him on the inside line there. As does Perks, so he's just been overtaken by 2 cars there. They might have to give the places back, depending on what the game feels like doing, as Flunky and Edmo have contact, and Flunky loses it and goes way over the hill. Urban Growth now has a 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags, and Flunky lost out massively from Edmo lagging like a mofo. So, unfortunately, 16. We've got lap 16 of 18. It's a boy here. Unfortunately, there's another 5-second penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I guess if we go through all the yellow flag penalties, I mean, it just depends on how complicated that is. It probably is a bit more complicated than we think. But we could probably nullify all that and then do the results based off that. But people are still overtaken regardless. We've got one lap to go beyond this lap, as Perks is going to make a move as JDM and War Machine collide. Apparently. I'm not sure how. And not even near each other on track. This game is absolutely falling apart. That's incredible. As Perks loses that massively there from contact, probably with AMG Hamilton. So AMG Hamilton's probably not giving him any room there, as the lobby has completely imploded on itself. And Urban Growth and AMG Hamilton are ghosted in each other. So, yeah, we can look back at this, yeah, so... Yeah, it is absolutely only fair. I do absolutely agree, because, like, yeah, okay, if the game had kind of kept it in the path that it was going in with, you know, not imploding just before the safety car restart, then everyone could have kind of kept close to each other and avoided overtakes and just kind of made it based off penalties, but, yeah, no, not ideal. It's not an ideal rate of race, unfortunately. But we're on the final lap with AMG Hamilton out in front. Unfortunately, we can't call who wins this race based off this particular live stream. Thanks, Formula 1 2021. Your game is in pristine condition and is in tip-top shape with no bugs to report whatsoever. Yeah, not great. So, that is that. We're going to witness AMG Hamilton for now, provisionally, not finally, it's not final, but we're going to see him provisionally cross the line to take P1 alongside Urban Growth in P2 and Greeny rounding out the podium places. We've got two McLaren side by side here. As Greeny gains another 5-second penalty for some reason. There's no one near him, unless my lobby's completely exploded on itself, which sounds very likely. As AMG Hamilton, crosses the line, and that's a lot of unserved penalties. But everyone's had unserved penalties, as Greeny crosses the line P2 and Urban Growth P3. Perks crosses the line P4 provisionally. Edmo does take that though by penalties. Kirko is in P6. So yeah. Yeah, for the first time we'll need to remove all penalties, but that will definitely shake things up quite extensively. I personally think we go by the results at the end of the safety car. Like, as they cross the start-finish line, when the safety car pulled in. Because, it's a bit of a mess. Look, it's not even going to finish properly, because JDM hasn't even crossed the line yet. He's AI, he's 4 laps down in his own lobby. I mean, this game is pathetic. This game is absolutely pathetic from a stability standpoint. Okay, game. Thanks for that. So that is what it is. I do apologise for the rather... Do a snapshot. Snapshot of pre-safety car results? Can you confirm me, Pajala, in the chat if I need to do that? I'm more than happy to do that. Or just these results. I mean, the snapshots here, people can take screenshots if they need. You can see the times there, you can see the penalties. But if you want me to do it beforehand, let me know. I can stop the stream, and obviously I'll go back through and I'll skim through it and check. Yeah, snapshot when the safety car finished. So here's a snapshot here. You guys can see this and screenshot this. I'll screenshot just for backups anyway, just in case. I'll screenshot the one with penalties and one without it once it disappears. Okay, that's that. And once the stream finishes, I will check the results before the safety car peeled into the pit lane. So yeah, very unfortunate that that race ended like that. I do apologise on behalf of everyone. Yeah, game's so buggy that it can't even count properly, and it can't even remove safety car periods properly. Very, very poor from Codemasters, as sadly per usual. I don't suspect it will be much better, but these aren't even provisional results. There is no point even talking about who won this until we can figure out what happened. So, without further ado, I do apologise. Thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed the races that did function, and we'll see you next